edition of the Sizzle Review. I'm Sabah, and
And I'm Izza. Thank you so much for joining us. Please comment, like, and subscribe to our channel. And welcome to our first ever live on YouTube.
so we are going to discuss Tere because of the the last episode, episode 46, and the promo for 47 has sparked an outrage and anger among the Tere fans.
Yes.
Most recently. So we are going to discuss what happened and events leading up to this outrage.
And sparked an emergency episode for Sizzle
Yes.
on a Sunday afternoon.
Yes. Yes. So we have invested, the fans of Therabin have invested 46 episodes of Murtasin and Marib's journey. And we have, really invested in their characters, and we're not, the audience is not stupid. We are really following as 2 billion views, this is like for the first time in history, I think, we're getting so many fan following for one Pakistani drama.
And all over the world.
And all over the world, in Bangladesh, India, America, UK, Australia, New Zealand. I mean, people are just loving. I think it's the chemistry, really, of Wahaj Ali and Yumna Zedi.
Yes.
Character, So, we see Murtasim as this feudal lord, right? He's strong. He's powerful. He stands up for his wife. He stands up at every single time Meetup messes up. And he's, at the same time, he has a soft corner for her. Yeah. He's passionate and he's romantic and he's, flirtatious and he's like the perfect ideal guy that you'd want, And I think that's why he's gained so much popularity, because girls have just gone berserk over Murtasim.
Yes.
And then for this episode 46 to happen was just like a shocker.
Yeah. And especially because episode mein shuru mein, he's just reminiscing about him and her and their relationship, the push and the pull. वो सब कुछ कर रहा है, and then suddenly this happens.
Well, we see a lot of flashbacks.
Yeah.
The whole episode was flashbacks, and mostly of the bed. The bed scenes where she did not, like, he was in his mind thinking about, the way they flirted and stuff, and how she just wouldn't have it because of the contract that they signed.
That was some foreshadowing that we saw.
Exactly. And so, let's talk about the events that happened. It started with Rohel, right? No, first it started with Murtasim kicking Haya out of Meetup out of the house, right? He just left her. And that's another thing. What is up with these dramas? You just उठाते हैं लड़की, अब बीवी का हाथ पकड़ते हैं घर से बाहर.
और बेचारी मीरब तो आई थिंक ना सिर्फ वो बल्कि हर like आज उसके वो पेरेंट्स हैं, आज उसका ये फादर है, आज उसके ये पेरेंट्स हैं. It's
वो घर है, कभी ये घर है. Or he didn't have the audacity to even wait till she went inside the house.
Yeah.
रात के वक्त था, 12 बज रहा था रात का, and she just passed out on the porch all night. She was there.
Wow.
Yeah, the parents saw her in the morning. So that was another thing. And you see in these dramas that, कोई बीवी अगर कोई गलती करे तो सबसे पहली चीज शौहर क्या करता है, घर से बाहर फेंक देता है बीवी को. We saw that in Amanat, we saw that in Mere Humsafar, we saw that in Humsafar.
Every drama.
It's almost like it's normalized. And here in America, it's the woman's house first. If you want to go, let the man go, leave the house. Why should the woman go? So that's another thing. But anyway, so she goes on this date with Rohel. Meetup is, and obviously the writer has a soft corner for Murtasim.
Was it the date though?
Not a date. She went with Sabah.
Yeah,
her friend's name was Sabah in this.
And she went out as friends.
As friends. But he told her not to ever see him again.
Yeah.
Because he was in love with her. So what is she doing going with her?
That she knew that he had feelings for her.
Exactly. And why put yourself in that situation? Meetup isn't really smart. I think she's going to be a lawyer. I mean, she doesn't really think clearly. And clearly, the writer, has a soft corner for Murtasim because she writes him up so high, and Meetup is always down here
I
messing up.
they needed to justify what was coming. तो इसलिए उन्होंने पहले मीरब को गलती करते हुए दिखाया. And
Exactly. And what's the first question Rohil asks her?
Rohel is very invested in the fact your contract कायम है कि नहीं है, which was
The
so
first thing you
sick.
want to know is, are you still a virgin? I mean, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you," and she just sits there and listens to him. She should like say, "Look, stop talking to me like that. I'm not in love with you,"
And why does he know that she has a contract with him?
because
I
she told him everything. She told him everything.
Yeah, but that is so like again we talk about this like I don't mind a negative character, but I mind the unrealistic character. So I think that's a very unrealistic thing for someone to go
Such a
and
private, such a
yeah,
private.
such a private thing. Exactly.
She doesn't tell anybody else in the house who she lives with.
Exactly.
Maria doesn't know. Haya doesn't know. Nobody knows. Ma Begum, her own parents, but she can confide in Rohel, who she hasn't seen in ages.
Mhm.
That's also a flaw. I mean, this script has a lot of
I
inconsistencies.
I think at this point, I think if there is a consistency in this script, तो फिर हमें surprise होएगा. Inconsistencies have been part of the script from the get go. I think
Exactly.
जो है वो and I get that they're trying to construct it like a soap opera, but I don't know. It's just for and Bahaj and Jumna are still doing a great job, but from
Right.
or from a drama that both of those actors are in.
So at that point, Murtasim sees Rohil and her together. He goes to the restaurant. He sees them. Obviously, he came back for her, right?
Uh-huh.
And because he had still had feelings for her. But then he sees him with Rohil, he gets jealous, really bad jealousy, and he leaves. And at that point, she realizes that she's in love with him because she tells Rohil finally, कि, uh, the exact words were, uh, मेरी जिंदगी में एक अच्छी चीज मुझे अच्छा लगने लगा है, something to that.
अच्छा.
So she realizes that Murtasim, yeah, she says Murtasim is something in my life that
Mhm.
I really like.
Okay.
That मेरे लिए अच्छा है,
Mhm.
अच्छा मुझे अच्छा लगने लगा है.
Mhm.
So she's kind of telling him she's in love with him.
Each other.
Hmm?
दिखा यही रहे हैं कि एक दूसरे के लिए फीलिंग्स शुरू हो गई हैं.
Especially during meetup side, Murtasama was always madly in love with her. He had told her so many times, "I love you, and I'll do anything for you, and I'll protect you." And he said all these things.
Mhm.
He even said to Anwar Chacha,
Mhm.
"Okay, Meri izzat hai, Meri, she's my amanat. I will take care of her. You have nothing to worry about."
Mhm.
He said all these things.
Mhm.
And so Mira finally realizes she's in love with him. Then
Okay.
Ma Begum comes and
Uh,
says, that I'm not going to destroy my son's life over this, which I thought that was very good. She
mhm.
realized she's not being selfish.
No, but does she go because of that, or does she go because Mariam said कि वो रुखसती नहीं कराएगी मीरब के बगैर?
That too.
I think Ma Begum was watching out for herself.
But she did realize that, why am I ruining my son's life?
Okay.
He's in love with Mira, and why
अच्छा.
am I going to? And that's a big thing for a mother to do. Think
Mhm.
of your son's life first above your own. And I think Miriam kind of convinced her too. Also, that also had a part to play.
Her or blackmailed her.
Yeah, emotionally blackmailed her too. But
हाँ हाँ.
I think she did realize I'm ruining his life because
अच्छा.
he's in love with her.
अच्छा.
So she goes over to get her, and she's like, well, he should have come for me because
हाँ.
he threw me out.
And like Mira like literally mouthed off to her mother-in-law, and I was like, I mean, इसको घर में रहना है कि नहीं रहना?
I know. So anyway, she decides, she's like, oh, Vikas Saab says nahi, Meetup nahi jayegi.
अच्छा.
And then Meetup says nahi, main jaungi. I want to go. I want to go because Mariam ke wajah se. Mariam mujhe bahut aziz hai.
Okay.
But not Murtasim. She
हाँ
wants
हाँ.
to go because of Mariam. So anyway, she goes with Mom Begum back, and then what happens at the wedding? Oh yeah.
Okay. So
Oh
so
yeah, she
here's
touches him.
here's my thing. The whole scene was so like unbelievable. बहन की शादी हो गई है, दे बच्चा आता है, मुर्तसिम को नोट देता है, मुर्तसिम मुझे कमरे में आके मिलो, मुर्तसिम बहन की शादी उधर ही छोड़ के everything abandons his responsibility. Murtasim ऊपर चले गए with a lot of hope in his eyes. He's
रुखसती का वक्त है, कुरान उसको पकड़ना था बहन के ऊपर.
no, Murtasim does not care. Murtasim is like, I'm gonna go upstairs, hopefully undo the contract that was given
It
to
was very climatic.
that I was that was signed that I was forced to sign. और
Right.
फिर पीछे से the notice from
I mean,
Haya.
come on, is that he waited all this time, all this months for this moment.
He can wait half an hour more. बहन को तो रुखसत कर दे. I mean,
He
he's
wants to meet the man.
he just left the sister high and dry in the middle of her event. कुछ शादी हो रही है, चलो रुखसती नहीं भी होती, इतनी जिम्मेदारी होती है, you have to coordinate things, you have to do things. No, Murtasim does not.
Yeah, that was a mistake. मैं सोच रहा था मेरी रुखसती पहले हो जाए.
हाँ, he's like, have to do what I have to do. अच्छा,
So
anyhow,
anyway, so he goes to the bedroom,
हाँ.
and then Haya Begum is hiding out, lurking as always in the bedroom, as she always does.
उसने आके उसको पीछे से गले लगा लिया. So what was she expecting? When he'll turn around, he'll be okay?
I don't know. I mean, she snuck up behind him and gave him a hug. But you know what? They didn't show it. They just showed her head in the back. Like the way they showed it was so weird.
It
She
was like a halal version of a hug, halal version of a hug that you can
yeah,
give mama.
from the back. So he says, "Oh, tum aa gayi," and then of course, how did meetup know to come there?
क्योंकि
Oh,
मीरा के कपड़े पे remember जूस गिर गया था, तो मीरा is
oh, right, right.
उन्होंने ये दिखाया हुआ है. लेकिन what was I gonna say? It was just it was it was just ridiculous, the whole scene, that the way it played out.
Yeah, it was. It was
Yeah.
kind of weird.
हाँ,
Anyway,
हाँ,
so then, of course, that whole scene with her slapping him and spitting on him was disgusting, in my opinion. I was disgusted when I saw it.
हाँ.
And
Also,
doesn't she
part
know
of
Haya's
that
character?
everything was
She
very
should know better. Like,
Hmm.
she knows that Haya is there to destroy her
Yeah.
and wants Mustasim for her own. She knew that from day one.
हाँ.
That Haya is that kind of girl.
बाय द वे, जब बच्चा नोट दे के जाता है, उससे लाइक लिटरली 30 सेकंड्स पहले दोनों लड़ रहे होते हैं कुत्ते बिल्ली की तरह. एंड
Yeah,
इज द नोट एंड ही हैज होप इन हिज हार्ट.
I know.
उम्मीद पे दुनिया तो कायम है, बट लाइक लिटरली बी
And
प्रैक्टिकल.
speaking of that note, he drops it. He litters it in the middle of the wedding. I mean, अपने पॉकेट में रख दे ताकि सबूत दिखाए, you know.
हाँ. और
So
मिला है, that
so
framed.
yeah. So I mean, you know, this girl Haya is up to no good, and what does she do? She slaps Murtasim. Meanwhile, she was out with Rohil. You know, like
But he wasn't hugging her from the behind. He
but
wasn't.
still, she
No.
knows what kind of anyway. But
हाँ.
why the spitting? I mean, okay, put the what the part behind that was unnecessary. Even
I
if girls slap
I can justify.
I there was no trigger warning, nothing.
हाँ.
This is slap happy. They're slap happy. I
हाँ.
mean,
चलो,
even if
एक आदमी को थप्पड़ पड़ गया, so I'm okay with that. But I was like,
Pukana, that was like,
हाँ, that was unnecessary. हाँ.
and over Haya, she knows
हाँ.
Haya to no good.
हाँ.
And
हाँ.
she knows Murtasim loves her, not Haya. She knows
हाँ.
Murtasim can't stand Haya.
हाँ. हाँ.
That's
हाँ.
the other thing. I don't understand that.
Hmm.
So, so then what happens?
So sorry. So then, as she says, she goes on and on. कोई 10 minute dialogue चलते रहे, and then she's like, बहुत अच्छा किया, मैंने तुमसे contract sign किया. And Murtasim, his eyes are like huge at this point. He's enraged. He's infumed. बहुत ही गुस्से में है. And he goes and locks the door. And
Pushes her on the bed.
क्या?
He throws her. He takes her and he throws her on the bed.
Oh, I missed
Then
that.
he goes and he goes, "Mad dikataun," and then he closes the door and locks it.
Oh yeah, that. And
And
by the way, उसको जब कुंडी की आवाज आ रही है, तो वो खिड़की से भाग क्यों नहीं रही? They have like a full door that opens into the into their yard.
और पहली दफा दरवाजा बंद हुआ है.
हाँ, उठा करके उसने दरवाजा बंद किया है, and then she's
पहली दफा बंद हुआ है दरवाजा.
क्या?
because that door was always wide open.
That door was always wide open. And यहाँ पे बात खत्म नहीं हुई. नीचे बहन की रुखसती हो रही है. Everybody's asking मुर्तसिम कहाँ है, मुर्तसिम कहाँ है? And then Haya goes and she tells Mariam while बेचारी की रुखसती हो रही है, वो रो रही है. She's like, they're in the room together. And I'm like,
Oh my!
not one information she needed at this
So
point.
it's implying that he's going to break the contract
Yeah.
in the promo.
So yeah, so
Oh,
in promo we see कि जो मीरब है वो she's उसके बाल बिखरे हुए हैं, mascara उतरा हुआ है, रो रही है, रो रही है, रो रही है, and Haya is trying to incite her. So they're alluding that marital rape happened.
right.
So
So
but I we have talked about this. मुझे लग रहा है कि they're just alluding to it, and that's not going to be that way because at this point they cannot lose Murtasim's fan following. But I do have to say, either way, it will be very hard to come out of the situation that they have put themselves in. Agar nahi hua, to it's a very cheap thrill that they used to get people to talk about the drama. Or agar hua hai, so that's going to lose them a lot of fans. So I'm waiting to see how the writers and the directors are going to drag themselves out of this hole that they have dug just for the thrill of getting some ratings, which is very unfortunate because the drama itself, without this gimmick, was doing very well.
right,
So for them to use something so, you know, which happens a lot in our society, which is nothing to be taken lightly, usko बिल्कुल इतना without any regard इसको use करना, I feel like it's like really below the belt.
exactly. I mean, I feel like they've exploited this serious issue and
Yeah.
just ratings, like the cliffhanger.
हाँ.
That was really poorly done.
Fully done, exactly. To
And
end that scene and then to show the promo जिसमें वो दिखा रहे हैं कि she's crying and
it's
basically
just, and so many young girls are watching this,
हाँ,
because of them, the romanticizing and all that, and
yeah,
to have a marital rape, at
that's true.
episode 46, when
Yeah,
we've seen Murtasim build up as this hero,
हाँ,
almost like Darcy in Pride and Prejudice,
हाँ,
between Darcy and Elizabeth, how they had this chemistry, and
mm,
we've seen this on episode 46, and now the hero is like a total zero,
हाँ, हाँ, हाँ.
you know and then the writer Noor Mukhtaram at an interview said, it's just a drama. This it isn't like it has never happened before. I mean, she's just taking it so lightly.
So I get the part it's a drama, and I feel like, I do believe that every drama or every movie out there does not have to have a message. Some
But
stories,
it does influence people, though.
no, 100%, I agree about that. But I feel like some stories are stories that are just told as a form of art. But the
Right.
thing is, कि ये जो drama hai, it is a very commercial drama. It's not an art like direction where the story is being told. It is a very commercial drama. They are going for that soap opera, that like mainstream kind of success. So
Hmm.
then you have to be mindful of the audience.
Yes.
Audience ko, it's not an art movie that's like that has a
The
need.
audience, 2 billion views, carried it all the way up, became so popular. One of the most popular dramas ever in Pakistani history. And then for this to happen.
Hmm.
So they lost a lot of fans. Twitter just went crazy.
हाँ,
There
हाँ.
was a Twitter feed that said, shame on Tere bin makers.
I 100% agree because, as I said before, इससे कैसे निकलेंगे? I mean, there is no way. अगर if they alluded to it and it did not happen, there is no way out of it.
There's no redemption. There's
Yeah,
no redemption.
exactly. और अगर हुआ है तो how are they going to redeem Muttasim's character?
They're not. They
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
They can't redeem. I
yeah.
mean, you know why? Because it's on episode 46. I think there's 5 episodes left.
Oh, really? अच्छा,
Yeah,
I thought they
yeah,
were.
yeah. It's about to end. So,
Wow.
for this to happen at the end, there's no room for redemption for
Hmm.
him unless he dies at the end. So, but there was a promo showing that they had a kid. So I think she becomes pregnant.
Oh, I have not seen that. अच्छा,
I think she becomes pregnant and has a child or something.
अच्छा.
But we don't know if he actually did it yet. We have to wait till
If
next
not,
episode. So because we're just it just implies
huh.
so we don't know
So we'll
that
get a
it's gonna happen. What he does, like
huh.
behind closed doors. So let's see what happens. But I'm not happy with this at all.
I am with you as well. I mean, to be honest, it wasn't on top of my list of dramas to watch. I'm only watching it to review it.
And
And
this there are so many comments on social media
mhm,
about the issue of marital rape and in Islam.
hmm,
There's so many people saying, even women
huh,
saying, "Oh, to Islam mein to jaiz hai because nikah ho gaya." Like, no, rape is rape, and rape happens because of power.
huh,
It's a power and violent issue.
huh,
It shows it's not like a sex intimate issue; it's a power issue, a violent issue.
mhm.
So it's a whole nother topic.
It's consent. Nikah ya na nikah is something else, but consent and lack of consent is, um, should be the consent should be there. So without
That,
consent, whether आप nikah हुआ है या नहीं हुआ हुआ ना.
right, and
हाँ,
and a nikah is between two people that are in love, that have mercy, that are have tranquility amongst each other. You
हम्म,
know, and you're not supposed to do anything to your wife that she dislikes.
हम्म,
You know,
100%.
some hadith hai. So I think there is definitely. I think our some of the commentators, women and men, both are saying that nikah ho chuka hai to kya hua?
Chalo, we'll see
Wrong.
how it goes.
Huh?
I said we will see how it goes in the next episode, and then
Yes. Yes.
yeah. Well, this wraps up our session of the Sizzle review. Please comment and let us know what you thought about the episode of Tere Bin and where you stand on this entire issue. This is Iza.
And this is Saba signing off.